Okay, here we go, guys. Welcome to the call. This is day 2, March 20th, 2025, and this is our content automation in RSS Masher for 2025. It is a 3-day course, and just kind of a review of what we talked about yesterday. I'll just hop back into that page real quick. And make sure I got that one up. Yep. So yesterday, what we talked about was the actual workflow. Is if you print this out and you ever get stuck with RSS Masher, this is what I refer back to. I actually had this printed, and it's not framed or anything, but it is attached to my computer. So I can, anytime I want to go, can I automate content? As I start looking, well, do we have it in a Masher yet? And if we don't, can I ask Wayne if we can add it? But this is we're going on our 4th year of this framework. We've just added tabs of content coming into the Mash. So if you have RSS Masher, this is a machine, and I know it is not easy to learn unless you actually go out and try it. That's the best way on this. Okay, so that we talked about the workflow. We talked about how to find RSS feeds with the 5 methods. And I would say 4 have a little bit of work. Number 5, that's our easy button, bot masher. So what is a good feed and bad feed? And we talked about thin feeds where they have no content section and maybe 1 or 2 sentences in the description. And a good feed has full content. Okay, so this is just a review, and it's got images inside of it. So this is, just if you can learn to look at this, this is 95% of finding good RSS feeds is be able to use this concept right here. Okay. We built some RSS feeds. I showed you money hooks. And Wayne, that's working now?
Yeah. It was. I'll tell everyone what it was later when we get back in the demos. It's something really silly.
Something Wayne and I we've looked at it 100 times over the years. Never even thought about it, but we did it naturally. So y'all are going to find this funny. So anyway, we tested the Mash feed, build it, and you can do 20 builds before you get the right feed. But once you do it and you hit finish and activate and you get it scheduled, it is set it and forget it. You never have to touch it. So building schedules, we went into that. Talked about site integration, syndications, and backlinking. Then we talked about auditing. And this is one of the things that Wayne and I are really good at is auditing our own tables. So before I ask Wayne to help me, as I'm going into the audit looking, did the Mash get made and is it ready to post, or did it post and something was wrong? So learn how to audit. This is going to be your best tool. If you can master everything on page 1, day 2 and day 3 are going to be real easy for you. But let's go ahead and talk about day 2. So what we're going to talk about today is AIMasher integration. We're going to be back and forth between the 2 programs, and we probably spend a little bit more time on AIMasher. But we want you to have, at the end of the day, a very good understanding of 3 things. How can I rewrite content from an RSS feed? Guys, this is advanced stuff, and I hope you appreciate what you can do with these 2 tools, because Wayne has probably over 100,000 articles now.
Yeah, easily.
That have been rewritten with unique content using our rewriting feature that we're going to show you on the rewriting. Okay. Number 2, RSS Campaigns. So you can create content in AIMasher, and you can push it over to RSS Masher and use that powerful scheduler and syndication and backlinking tool inside of RSS Masher. A lot of people go, well, why can't I just post it from AIMasher? Absolutely, you can post it. I mean, we built a tool that is enhanced content publishing. But where RSS Masher excels over AIMasher is the scheduled posting and syndication at the time that it publishes. Very important. We're one of the few tools that will do backlinking at publish date and time. Okay, so think in terms of, do you want to syndicate and backlink your content and you got both tools? Then just push it over to RSS Masher. Okay. And then third, we're going to show you helpful content and listicles. There's two ways to build them. And if you've got both of them combined, in fact, Wayne and I had talked about, right now it's on the API Club. If you've got the API Club, you get the importer. And we may have something for you if you don't have the API Club. But we want you to be able to use both tools. AIMasher is great. In fact, it is one of the best tools I know of for creating helpful content and listicles. And it does it almost on autopilot. I'm going to show you kind of how to build them with RSS Masher, and then you're going to go, well, I just want to import them. I want the easy button. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about media packs and image replacements, and then we'll do questions. So it is probably going to be 2 hours. Hopefully it's not going to be 3. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I can. Now, there's some things in here that I may have to ask Wayne about, because I want to make sure that you have 2 voices about how to use something specific. And one of the things before the call is Wayne and I spent 30 minutes getting this one checkbox figured out exactly how to explain it to you. So hope you enjoyed the call today. So let's go ahead and get started. And like all our calls on Geek Out Friday and any webinar, I'm going to be going through the webinar, both on strategy side and the demo side, and Wayne will be answering questions if it's something he needs to interrupt. We've been doing this for 3 years now. He knows kind of where to interrupt me to put the point in and answer your question. If it's something that he can answer online, then he will, okay? So let's get started. Yeah, Walt says 30 minutes for one checkbox. That's a bit scary for us. And I say that it's not the checkbox itself is just a check, but you got to know when to check it. And what we had was not self-explanatory. So how do I teach something that is confusing to me? I want to make it not confusing to me so it's easier to teach, okay? So the checkbox is the same. We just had to change a couple wording. Okay. So let's talk about AIMasher integration. We talked about this yesterday, is if you, and this is primarily to find an RSS feed that you want to rewrite. So I know this is kind of blurry, but we use these 2 columns over here, and they do mean something. These are rewriting templates, and you create your rewriting templates inside of AIMasher. I'm going to go over and show you how in just a second. All right. And you choose which rewriting templates are here. You will not see them in the dropdown unless you go into the integrations and hit your update button. Okay. And I'll when I get to the software, I'm going to show you how to make sure when you're in integrations, you go into AIMasher API and you'll click Get Rewriting Templates. Boom, it transfers everything over for you, okay? The second column is when you send it to AIMasher, we've got 2 options. Is it will send the content as it is, or you can scrape it, the original URL with Scrape Out. Now, we talked about the other day, yesterday, we want to avoid thin feeds because they don't have any content. So Wayne just reminded me before the call, I want to make sure I say this right, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a thin feed, okay, and I send it over to AIMasher, it's 1 or 2 sentences in the description box, but I send it to AIMasher, but I set it up as URL scrape out. What it's going to do is it's going to disregard that little thin feed content or description, and it's going to go into the original URL and scrape the entire post or the entire article. And then it's going to put it into AIMasher. So yesterday I said, we don't necessarily recommend it, but you certainly can use it, okay? So in this case, now Wayne, correct me, if I've got good content in an RSS feed post and I use URL scrape out, explain to me what happens.
It will still use the URL and scrape it in AIMasher.
Okay. So it disregards whatever is in the RSS feed post, and it will go to the original source, scrape it, and put it into AIMasher.
Correct.
Okay. Garen asked an incredibly great question. Awesome. Will that work on Google News feeds now?
As long as scrape-out can scrape it without getting blocked, yes.
Okay. It's something definitely to test.
I would try it.
Yeah, I would definitely try Google News feeds. Okay. So what you're learning today is we are scraping the original article. Now, if you're in ZimWriter, they do the same thing. They use scrape out to scrape original articles and rewrite them. A lot of tools are doing that. Scrape out is a friend of ours. Okay.
Jill's just said, because ZimWriter uses scrape out for some things, it's having an update from a Google change, so scrape out may not do it at the moment.
Yeah. But the way scrape out works, and we've gone through dozens of these changes, it takes them sometimes when Google makes a change, scrape out may be down for half a day or a full day, but they do announce it, and you don't have to do anything on your side. Okay. They're fixing things on that API. When we send the API over, they're fixing things on their side. So it may be a day delay or 2-day delay, but ScrapeOut's not going out of business, I don't think. They got a lot of members using ScrapeOut. Okay. I think I've used a $6 service per month.
Yeah, we forego any affiliate so that we could give you a $5, I think it is, membership.
Yeah. And
if you that link that's in the software, he'll take you straight to the cheap subscription.
Yep. And you get that inside of integrations. I believe where ScrapeOut is, you can click on that, and there's a link to get ScrapeOut. Now, the other option is content. If I pull the content down here, and let me do this. I had a really cool deal here. I'm going to use a laser. And I'm not going to look directly at the laser. So right there, if you're using that drop down and you put in content, it is going to use the content section of the RSS feed post. So you need a good post to send over with content. So there's 2 ways: is scrape the original URL or use the RSS feed post. Now, if you want to make sure everything's right, some people don't want to scrape the original URL. If that's your case, just say content and then pass it to AIMasher, and we got a little toggle that we'll clean up that content for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. I just want to make sure, and I'm harping on this. This is what you're sending over. Is you're choosing a rewriting template and AIMasher. So you need to kind of know what's in your rewriting template. Okay. So if I go over here, and again, I apologize, this is kind of blurry, but it's, I don't know why it's blurry, but to get to the rewriting, the reinventor templates it's going to be article file reinventor. Make sure I said that right. Yeah. Okay. So it's not in the article publisher, which has an article template, not to be confused with reinventor templates. Reinventor templates are they were specifically designed to do you could pop a URL in there and rewrite it, but they were designed for us, for RSS Masher curation and rewriting. Okay. So you click in there, you'll see reinventor templates will be your choice, and then you click add, or you can click edit. And we're going to go in and talk about how we build these. Okay. So got that. Let's go down to images. Okay. And I told you at the very beginning, or I told you earlier, yeah, it's probably because the resolution. Okay. Wayne and I talked for 30 minutes on this one topic here. So inside this is a reinventor template. This is kind of the bottom of the reinventor template. When should you check this box? If you leave it unchecked, like this right here, if it's not checked status, it is going to scrape all images. You are only going to get a text-only software that goes back. Diane asks, which software is this? This is Zoom's.
No, I think she means this is an AIMasher screenshot.
Yeah, this is AIMasher. Yeah. So inside of AIMasher, inside the reinventor template, which is inside here, you would click edit, and this is the bottom of the reinventor template. Okay. So when you're designing your reinventor templates, are you going to check that, or are you going to not check it? If you don't check it, you just leave it just like that. It is scraping all images. You will not get any images put back into RSS Masher. Okay. Now, let's expand it a little bit more. If you check that box and you toggle keep original, in fact, that arrow is right on top of that.
You have to screen up.
Yeah. So if you choose keep original, it is going to keep the original.
We can't see that.
You can't see this screen with the green boxes?
No, it's off. It's at the bottom of the screen. You got to scroll it up.
Let me do this.
That's it.
Okay. So if you check the box to include images and you toggle this keep original, it is going to bring the original image from RSS Masher, and it's going to place it back in the article and then push it back into RSS Masher. Okay. So here's the rules. If you're using the URL scrape out, it is going to pull the first image from the article that it's scraping as your featured image. Okay. So it could, by chance, pull an emoji or a logo. If there are people that create web designs that will put a logo at the very beginning, and that's your first image. Okay. But for the most part, 99% of all websites, the first image is the featured image. Okay. Now, if you are using the content drop down in RSS Masher, where it's pulling the content over, it's going to keep all the images. Okay. Here's the caveat. It may bring add images as well. So is it going to bring them over? We're going to show you how to, in testing, how to test this, but we have a little box up above, which I can't see, that we have a scraping that we use AI to scrape the article inside the content. Okay. So you're passing RSS feed content section over a post in the feed itself. We have a little drop down that you can clean it with an AI tool inside of AIMasher, inside this rewriting template. Okay. So it is not raw. It is not absolute coding, but we do encourage you to check this before, check it with articles before you put this live and set it and forget it. Okay.
Yeah, it used to say none.
Yeah.
So if yours says none, just refresh the page, because you've probably still been left logged in, and we've changed it in the last 40 minutes.
Yep. Okay. Now there's a box underneath, add image citations right there. Okay. Now, what that means is if you keep the original image, and let's say it's New York Times or the Sun, if you check that box, it is going to put a little caption underneath the image that says courtesy of the Sun Times. And what that does is it gives you that Getty image effect. Is you are referencing that is not your image. It came from the Sun Times. And if you're using an RSS feed post, it is a syndicated image that it could be a Getty image. If you're using Sun Times, they're probably a Getty image, but you're referencing back to the original source. Okay. So just that's how you properly cite a source image, as you reference back to the source image. Okay. Wayne, can you answer that? Is it a link or just text?
It's just text. We're not giving them a backlink.
Yeah, it's not a backlink. It's just a visual text, or it's not even it doesn't reference the article, does it? Or does it just reference?
No, it's just really small text that says courtesy of, and then the domain where it came from.
Like the Sun Times or
.co.uk or
TMZ
whatever.
or New York.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the other case scenario. What if you want to just replace the images? Well, that's what the reinventor template is designed for. If you check that box, remember, if you don't check it, you're going to get all the images stripped out. Okay. If you check it and then choose your graphics, and if you use our AIMasher graphic engine, you get a certain number of credits every month added. So if you choose that, then you give it a style, choose the version, the model. And I think we've set it up so where it's using ProtoVision or Flux. And those are two pretty decent ones, but you can change, you can give it a style, or you can just leave it blank, and our AI will try to get the best image for you. Okay. Pixar, Disney, these are just suggestions. I don't even have in here photorealism or Western or pen and ink. You can do all types of styles. We used to have, in fact, Thomas may not be on the call today, but somebody pointed out that our style guide we actually referenced somebody else's URL, and it was corrupt. So we took that out, and we're gonna come back in here with a style.
That's on our site, so it doesn't change.
Yeah, we'll put it on our site. And it's just my fault. I should have copied it and made a page, but we just did a quick link. Okay. So if we're using our own images, Dolly, AIMasher, Stability, or Ideogram, we do not want to check this one. Okay. We don't want to create an AI image and say courtesy of Sun Times. Okay. Does this make sense? Okay. Good. So this is what Wayne and I talked about for 30 minutes. I want to make sure that y'all are very clear on it. Okay. So if I go up here, if I don't check that, I'm going to get no images, text only. Do you understand that? Okay. Get a bunch of yeses coming across. Okay. Now, on the reinventor, if I check, I include images, and I toggle this, then I'm going to keep the original featured image. If we're scraping URL, it's going to pull the first image off the original article URL. It's not going to pull it out of RSS feed post. If we use the content inside of RSS Masher, it's going to try to pull all the images across, and it will use the first image that it finds as your featured image, okay? But the caution here is it may bring ad images as well. And we're going to try to help you clean it up. I'll show you later, okay? And if we're going to use keep original and you want to cite the original source, you would do that, okay? Here's the other scenario. I'm going to replace my images. I don't want to use any of those. In fact, I've got a New York Times or a Sports Illustrated, and I know all those are Getty images. And I know a couple of guys here on the call don't want Getty images at all, okay? Then include images, but select one of these. My lines aren't straight. Noting that Dolly is going to cost you 8 cents. I think Ideogram is 2 or 3 cents. Stability is, there's cost associated with those. With this one, there is no cost except for you're just burning credits, okay? But we can do 1 credit and we can create 4 images. Now, if you're using this reinventer template for a bunch of different websites and you send over a bunch of articles about dog training, where do you want to store those images? Because if I'm using this reinventer template again, and it's for survivalists, if I have this saved as a reinventer template for dog training, then all my survivalist images are going to get saved to the dog training site or to the folder here, okay? So I leave mine blank. If I'm going to use it on multiple sites, I just don't even care about saving it. It's going to pick one image to use. I basically lose those 3 extra ones. But if I want to, I can save all 4 images into a folder. And in fact, what you could do is say AIMasher saved images. So you could have just a generic folder to save all your AI created images. Okay. Hope that makes sense.
If you want to go down the route of like, I've got a dog training site, I've got a prepper site or whatever, and you want to save prepper images into an image pack, then you would have to create a reinventor for each particular site so that you could store them in the right media pack.
And if you got hundreds of sites, you know, you could have 100 reinventor templates and they'd all be, you could keep them all the same, just have a different, I want to store all my images, so I have a different folder down here, so it's going to be a different reinventor, okay? That's why I don't save my images, because I don't want 100 reinventor templates. I want 1 or 2 good reinventor templates that I use, okay?
So you can duplicate and rename. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we use the word clone in there, but it's yeah. Okay. And just last thing is, just do not check this one if you're doing AI. We don't want to source it back to the original source if we're making our own images and spending our own money right there. Okay. So this is why it took us 30 minutes to go through this. But I hope everybody is, if there are any questions about this section right here, ask now, please.
Peter asked one question. It would be nice if the reinventor could do help for content and listicles, and there is a reason it doesn't do that. It's because, which we'll show you later.
Yeah.
That when it goes back to RSS Masher, RSS Masher's got its own help for content and listicles in the mash.
Yep. So Scott asked, a detailed table, and this would help eventually. Yeah, it probably would. And I could probably take the transcript of what we're talking about right now in just this one section and make an infograph with it. using like SketchWow or something like that. Good point. Okay, so let's move on. So best practices for AIMasher for the reinventor, okay? And we're going to go in and talk about it in just a few minutes, but I want to, this is going to be available to you in your notes. Test first inside of AIMasher. So before we do any, once you learn how to do your reinventor, you don't necessarily have to test it. But if you're going to do a URL scrape, this is the perfect way to do it. Build your reinventor template and put a URL from the website that you're pulling the feed from. So just put a blog post URL in there and let it rewrite it. Okay, that's the best way to test it right there. The only difference, we're not doing a scrape out on if we put a straight URL in there, Wayne.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay, we are. Okay. So this is the best way to test right here, is with the URL rewrite inside of AIMasher. So you want to connect the reinventor template only after you get some good results. Okay, you're happy with the reinventor. Now, once you do 20 or 30 of these, you don't necessarily need to test, but you're going to be pretty good to just go ahead and create your reinventor and then add it. Okay, it's very easy to add. Send only one post from each feed in the RSS Masher mash. This got me in trouble right here. I'm thinking, like, it's an RSS feed, I'll just send as many that I normally have in there. And I flooded it. I think there were 80 or 90,000 posts waiting to be written because I was sending 5 at a time. I think in one case I was sending 20 articles over, and it pulled 48 times a day. So there could be 200 to 300 articles that it pulled off of a popular RSS feed. So do this one post, okay? If you are happy with it after a week or so and you want to crank it to 5, then test it out, okay? But let's start with one and make sure it's working and you're happy with the results that goes onto your WordPress site, okay? Then down the road, you can crank it up, okay? Understand the image checkboxes. That's why we spend a lot of time on the image checkboxes, okay? Now, let's talk about RSS campaigns, okay? What's the difference between RSS campaigns and reinventor templates? Good question, Damon. Okay. An RSS campaign is basically the easy method of getting anything you do in AIMasher into RSS Masher. It's just a bridge. It is not going to rewrite. It's not going to do anything but put that content over here that you can add it to a mash, okay? And you can set it and forget it, okay? I think Scott's on the line. I went over with one of the Scotts here. Why would you need this? Is, again, we get into that syndicated scheduling and backlinking structure that we only offer inside of RSS Masher technology, okay? So that's the power of RSS Masher, is that scheduling, that turbo scheduling that we have, okay? So you bring it in, import content, very easy now. There's a webhook. And I put in a video about how to set up a webhook to go directly from ZimWriter into AIMasher. We're going to probably do some more very specific training, but once you get it into AIMasher, you may want to, if you want to see this and you're a Geek Out Friday member, January 3rd, just review this. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long, and it goes specifically over how to do all this. But we're going to cover a lot of it today, okay? So anything that you put in AIMasher, either through importing or writing inside of the content engine or the Chrome extension, can be pushed automatically just by assigning it to an RSS Masher campaign. Then inside of RSS Masher, you just set it up as a mash like you normally would a website feed. Okay. So how do you set it up? An RSS Masher campaign. You go into Article Publisher, you're going to choose RSS Masher campaign. You're going to click Add and give it a name. That's it. Okay. Then you're going to come over to RSS Masher. You got everything integrated, and we're going to add the API, get the campaigns, and there's two sections where you get RSS Masher campaigns and another section where you get reinventor templates. You just click the button and it pulls everything over. You click the button for the reinventor, pulls everything over. That's how easy it is to get them across. Now, the beauty about the way he has set this up, if we have clicked the button to get campaigns, it turns this to yes, this column right here inside of AIMasher. Okay. And when we turn it on, so we can have them linked, but we have to turn them on here just by checking, saying, okay, I want baby health news to be active. So if I check it, that RSS Masher campaign can go across. Okay. So you got the bridge, but now you have the bridge is actually connected and they're working together. Okay. So hope that makes sense. Okay. So I'll move on. Okay. Now, where do you get AI written articles? So you want to put AI written articles into AIMasher. Well, there's several different ways to get AIMasher articles. So instead of sending to a WordPress site, publishing to a WordPress site instead of AIMasher, you just simply put it to an RSS Masher campaign versus publishing it directly in AIMasher. Once you put it on that RSS Masher campaign, it does everything automatically from then on. Okay. Now, you can import articles, ZimWriter, Autoblog, and Koala, and others. We got direct imports with webhooks also, which I don't have in here. You can write them inside of AIMasher. We've got a really good content engine now where you could just stay inside of AIMasher and just use the keyword tools with topic clusters and then send it to our content engine and it cranks them out. Or you can use the Chrome extension. This is brand new. Well, it's 6 months old, but this is one of my favorite tools to use. I find an article I like, I hit the Chrome extension, send it to AIMasher, and then I can tag that. I can put a voiceover, I can put images, I can edit the article, which I oftentimes do if I'm doing a Chrome extension. And then I will send it to an RSS Masher campaign. So I just push it over to RSS Masher just by putting a campaign tag on it. Okay. Scott asked a real good question. If I make an edit to a reinventor in AIMasher, do you need to refresh it in RSS Masher? No. It checks before it sends to get the latest version. Good question, though. Okay. Okay, best practices for RSS Masher campaigns. I don't have this one filled out here, but if I guess the biggest thing is if it is ready to publish, then it is ready to send to RSS Masher. That's Wayne, any other notes we could add on this? We might come back and add some later. Okay, so the AIMasher generated content, it goes in. So how do you set it up? I'm going to show you. We're going to create a standalone mash with an RSS campaign, or you can add RSS campaigns to existing mashes. So if you've got a dozen mashes going into one single website, and you go, I just want to add RSS campaign to a mash, very easy. So where website feeds are, there's another tab that you could put AIMasher, and that's what the RSS campaigns are for. Okay. Once I show you, I think it's going to make a little bit more sense. Okay. And here's the Chrome extension. You're going to snag it with AIMasher's Chrome extension. You have the URL up there. And again, we're going to show you in Chrome how to do this. And it will do all this. It will use an article template, not a reinventor template, but an article template to rewrite it. And it will put it into the publisher for your final edits. And then you can automate the posting just by tagging it with an RSS Masher campaign. Now, I know what I'm showing you is all, okay, Damon, it's very confusing what you're talking about. I completely understand. This is a lot of content. That's why we're recording it. And that's why I'm doing transcripts and captions and everything I can to put all this together, okay? To sit down and document something like this would take several weeks to do it. But that's why we're going to put it in a notebook and get you all the cheat sheets and facts. And we may even have a quiz where you can take the quiz, and the people that pass it, they get something, maybe a certificate or something. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Wayne, any questions that I can answer before we hop in and show you it live?
Scott said he went to Scrapehole using our link and it said $29. So I'll have a word with him to see if he's done something wrong, the guy at Scrapehole.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so let's share a different screen here. Share advanced and portion of screen. Okay, you should see Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull this site just down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go in and we're going to start with AIMasher. And I'll log in. Okay. Now we're going to go to reinventor templates. Okay. As you can see, I've got 19 of these reinventors, but I'm going to just start from scratch and show you how to create one. Okay. So I'm going to use, let's do Anthropic. So if you have Open Router and you want to use Open Router, you would click that button. If you've got your own API keys for these tools, then you would click this button. So I'm going to use Anthropic. Actually, let's use OpenAI. And I know what kind of to expect there. Okay, so I'm going to use OpenAI. I've got two different API keys in here. And this is just more for budgeting project cost, okay? So if you have your client's API key, you could add it in. You can have multiple API keys for each of these. Cleanup prompt. Now, we told you when you're bringing over content from an RSS feed, you can use a cleanup prompt, okay? If you're using ScrapeOwl to scrape the original URL content, you don't need to use a cleanup, okay? So if I set this up, I'm going to do a cleanup. Now, what am I going to use as my rewriting? These right here, I would try them out, definitely try them out before you go any further. this was our original 3 rewriters. Andy, the local news reporter, writes in the style of Anderson Cooper. This is a pretty good one. I have not tested this in probably 6 months. But I would try Anthropic 3.5 Sonnet or 3.7 Sonnet as the rewriter and test this one out for us, okay? This is Neil Patel's, and what we did, we call it bullet point Billy because there's going to be a lot of bullet points in the article, okay? Very specific way of writing for SEO, okay? And then this is a teaching style, write simply for a 6th grader. So just note, these were original. We haven't really tested them lately. We've been using Fox News, The Guardian, and TMZ, okay? And we have an SEO rewrite article. This was a style, I think I pulled it from Jonathan Bass, his prompts. So this is a pretty good prompt to rewrite SEO. But think in terms of what you're going to be using this for. Is the article a news article, or is the article an informational content article? If it's informational, I would definitely try SEO rewrite, maybe even try Jane, the 6th grade reading teacher, dumbing it down for a 6th grader, okay? So you could try all these out. I like Fox News, and I like The Guardian USA. The Guardian is a really good rewriting tool, okay? This one, there's 2 different ones. If you want a 500-word article, use this one. If you want something longer, like 750 or 1,000, use this one. It's not guaranteed it's going to be a lot longer, but it's like going with short paragraphs to medium paragraphs, okay? And TMZ is going to give you a more casual, friendly, celebrity-style rewrite, okay? So let's go with Fox News USA. Why do we have UK versus USA? Well, it's just the way that the USA pronounces everything correctly. The UK, they screw it up sometimes. Or if you're in the UK, it's just the reverse.
Old English for a reason.
Okay, so we're going to use that. And I set my default up here in settings for when I use OpenAI to use O1 Mini. If you'll notice, you can go all the way back to 3.5 Turbo if you want. Of course, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, but it's really not that bad. A 4.0 Mini or O1 Mini, this is a pretty decent one to rewrite with. I would not use O1 or O. I don't think we even have just O3, but this is, yeah. So 4.0 Mini or O1 Mini, this is the latest, cheapest one that they have. Summary prompt. So we're going to summarize it just like we would for articles. And I'm going to use a Fox News summary. It's going to do 100 words. And how are we going to summarize it? Well, I can use O1 Mini, or I can, choose another style in here. But I'm going to just stick to the same one there. Summary article. What do we want to do? Do we want to do a full article, or a full article excludes subheadings? Okay. You might get an idea here, and it's a very good idea. If you want to take an RSS feed that you like and turn it into a podcast, let me show you how to do it. That right there will turn that into a podcast. Now, you're going to be spending money on 11 Labs, so it may cost you 20 cents or 50 cents to rewrite an article and voice it, the full article. So test this out. You got OpenAI, where you can choose your voices here, or you can use 11 Labs and choose the voices here, okay? So I don't want to do a full article. A 500-word article is usually going to be about 5 minutes. 100 words is usually less than a minute, okay? So let's keep on going here. I'm going to do 11 Labs. I'm going to do a summary article, O1 Mini. I'm using Fox News, okay? Now, you can make it a little bit juicier. This is sometimes what I'll do here. Do a TMZ rewrite, okay? for the summary. It's going to be more conversational, more gossip, celebrity gossip type words might be used in there. It's not a celebrity gossip rag, but it's more shorter sentences, a different style of writing. So I'm going to use a TMZ to do a summary that turns into a voice. And I'm going to voice it with, let's just do, I've got my own voice in here. So I could go, great for VSLs. Yeah, Damon's going to voice it. Okay. Continue without audio if you run out of credits. Go ahead and check this. Occasionally, you're going to run out of credits with 11 Labs or OpenAI you're paying on a per use basis. You don't want to stop everything mid-sentence especially if you're out on vacation or you haven't checked it in a while. If you run out of 11 Labs credits, you just go ahead and send it without a voiceover if I'm out of credits, okay? Then it will pick up next month and start using the credits, okay? Remember we talked about our include images. Am I going to include images? Yes, I want to include the image. And let's go ahead and use our credit system. I'll do photo. I love this style. It's mid-century modern. Again, you can leave it blank if you want. I'm going to use the Flux for our credit system and store AI images. I'm going to skip that. Do I want to check this? No, I'm using my own credits, so I'm not going to check that. Now, this is if you want to do anchor text list and you got a big anchor text list like we talked about yesterday with RSS Masher. We also have it built into AIMasher. So you can upload keyword anchor text and you can even do the spins in there. I would only use this if you were doing a specific, like for beekeeping sites. I would make a reinventer template if I want to use anchor text just for beekeeping sites, okay? But I'm not going to do that today. Now, what we've done for you here is we've created a name for this reinventor template. And this is, I know it's my OpenAI account, and it's an AP, and it's, for some reason, Wayne, it's not picking up 01-mini. I think we need to look at it. We see it's not picking up that 01-mini. Usually it's going to pick up the model that we use. We're doing a cleanup. So I would only want to use cleanup if I'm doing content pools, okay, from RSS Masher. If I'm using the URL scrape out, I don't want to use that cleanup prompt, okay. Fox News USA, I'm going to do a summary of TMZ, and Damon's going to voice this for me, okay. Now, I don't think it actually puts the image maker in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put image maker. I'm using AIMasher, and I'll just do mid-century. So this is just kind of, it's for me only, so I know what this reinventor template does. Okay, I can go over here to page 2 and see, here's exactly what it does. Okay, you see it's not connected. Link to RSS Masher. Told you that the easy way, we're going to come over here. Probably have to log back in.
Incidentally, some of you, well, Scott has said he doesn't have 01-mini. So if you're missing a model like that, just go into your integrations for OpenAI and just click the Get Models button, and it will refresh with the latest ones.
Yep. You would go in here and go over to integrations, OpenAI, and we have to do this all the time. Hit edit and get models. Okay. And you can see we got 01, 03 mini. So we're pulling the latest ones that are out of beta stage. Hit update and cancel. Okay. And you would want to do it for all of them, for all your different platforms. This, get models, update and cancel. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back into RSS Masher. We want to make sure that we connected the reinventor template. So I'm in integrations. Okay. Go to AIMasher API. And I'm going to hit get campaigns. That's not the one I need, but let's see. I'll go to page 2. Here's the last one that I sent over. I'm going to hit get reinventor campaigns. Waiting for some reason.
1 second.
It didn't bring it over. It should bring it over and put it right here, right underneath A3.
Let me check. I think the name might be too long. 1 second.
That could be it.
Which I can fix quickly. 1 second.
So just to, as it's in here, you can kind of read through is, I'm using Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental, Fox USA as the rewriter, Fox for the summary. I'm doing no voiceover. And I don't know why Noel put his name there, but this is my VA. In fact, he probably made it, so that's why he did it. This one is Flash Experimental. It's doing a cleanup. It's using Guardian, no audio, and it's doing a 100-word summary on there. So you can kind of, by learning how its notation here is, you can figure out which ones you might want to use. So any that say cleanup on them are ones that you can send content over. You don't have to do scrape out. Okay. Let me know when you get that. We sort them all by ID order so that we know it should be on number 2 here. I think Wayne's right. Is I use too many words in there. Okay. He's going to fix it in a second here. Now, as he's working on that, let's go back in here. I told you to test it. Okay. So let's go into Article Reinventor, and we're going to do, see if I'm on the right. Nope, that's not the right one. Article Reinventor. Okay. So I am going to pull an article, and we, nomadic notes. Latest post. Nomad Mike or something like that. Yeah. So I'm just going to pull one of his notes. Best tips. Pack lightly and avoid luggage charter. Okay. And these are really kind of old ones, but you're going to get the idea of what we're about to do here. Okay. Now I'm going to copy that. And this is a very short article. So let's test it out. Come back over here to AIMasher. Paste that in there. And I'm going to use, I think it's reverse sort right here. I'm going to do a cleanup on it. So let's try this one. Okay. So by using a cleanup prompt inside of the reinventor, we're going to clean it up to get just the text. If you're a long-term nomadic multiple country, then this tip is for you. Okay. Just plain text. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to use, we'll use Anthropic, I guess. Anthropic account. Actually, I'm going to use OpenAI there. And it's going to pull my default on there. So I'm going to use a cleanup prompt right here, remove ads. And I don't really need to do this because it looks like it already pulled just the text. Okay. So we got a real good clean text. Now I'm going to rewrite it. And if I use Fox News right there, in fact, let's try this. I haven't used this in a long time. Let's try Andy, the local news reporter. And I'm going to use 01 Mini and rewrite the article. Oops. Let's try one that I know has worked, Fox News. 01 Mini. We may have to look at this one. Let's do 40 Mini. We have these rewriting prompts, and they're based on models, and so
I know what that is. We forgot to do the page. Go look at the temperature. Okay, we forgot to do the reinventer page. Temperature doesn't work with 01 and 01 preview. It has to be on 1.
So if I do 1 here,
yeah,
then I can do 01 Mini.
Which is why
I think we still need a fix on that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do 40 Mini. We'll put it at 0.5, and I'm going to rewrite. Okay, so we got H1s, H2s in here. Mastering the art of minimalist travel. So what was our original article? Nomad best tips, pack lightly and avoid luggage charges. Okay, that's not too bad. Travel light, live free. Less is more, the packing strategy. Streamline your gear. Only the essentials, finding the perfect backpack. That's not too bad. So I would do a Fox News summary. I know we're actually going to do TMZ 100 words. And let's do 40 Minis, since we may have to check that. Okay. That looks pretty good. Summary. Above, and I'm going to use OpenAI. I'm just going to do, maybe let's do Shimmer. Okay. And create audio. And I can play it.
Mastering the art of minimalist travel focuses on embracing a nomadic lifestyle.
Okay, that's not too bad. And now I can come down here and add an image, and let's do mid-century modern. Put that in there. Use our credits. I'm going to do Flux, and I'll go ahead and leave that in there. I don't want to do citations, don't want an anchor text. Now, here's the beauty thing, is what I'm doing right here. Let's see if I started with that. Yeah, I didn't. For Wayne, this drop down up here, I'm not sure what that did unless it just preloaded everything. But now that I've got all this done, I can actually save this as a new template.
Yeah, you can also pick a template from that drop down at the top, and it'll fill it all in for you.
Okay, and that's what it was supposed to do, but I don't know if it did. Okay, so save new article. Article added successfully. Okay, so now I want to come over. Let's take a look at it. It's going to be in here. Oh, it's going to be in Publisher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. My articles. This is where everything resides. So it's doing an image processing right now. So when it finishes the image, it's going to place it right there. Travel light, live free. Okay. I mean, this is very basic, but it did a pretty good job of it. And you can rewrite the title. Do you want to make it more engaging? no clickbait or clickbait. Let's do this. Let's try that. That's 40 value. Yeah, that one didn't work. You can see some of these newer models are not tested.
Yeah, some of them new models have gone a bit doolally.
Yeah, they're putting new models out faster than we can do this. So I'm just going to back out of this. Go my articles. Yeah, so it's not using the 01 Mini to rewrite because that's the default. We'll get this fixed by this afternoon. But yeah, this is a really good way to test everything out through your article reinventor. Now, I wanted to show you real quick on, while I'm in here, how do you send this article right here, Keto Fast Trim, over to RSS Masher? You just simply tag it, or you can check. I want to send all 4 of these. And I'm going to add it to, I don't think I have keto in here. I do have fasting tips. Okay. That's how easy it is to put it into an RSS campaign. So once they're there, they're going to be sent across to AIMasher. Now we're going to come back and revisit this in a second, but I wanted to show you primarily on the reinventor is you could start from, did you change this? Let's see if it picked it up.
Yeah, I've made it bit, see how much extra long the text was?
Yeah.
I've increased the field size in the table.
Okay, cool. So that one's working, ready to go. Okay, cool. Okay, now that's the reinventor template. I'll show you how to make it in here. And you can test these all day long. You can clone them. Scott mentioned, how do you clone them? Just like that. Okay, so I want to come back in here. And instead of using 01, I'm going to use Anthropic account. And I'm going to use Sonnet latest. Okay, that looks good. Keep everything the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change this to, and I'll just call it ANTH 3.5 Sonnet. Okay, and keep everything else the same. Hit update. So now I have 2 different models I can test. One is rewriting with 01 Mini, and the other is rewriting with Sonnet. So that's how easy it is. Now it's not linked. So again, I got to come back over here. I'm in integrations, AIMasher API, get reinventor template. And it just added it. There it is right there. Okay. Do you all understand how to, one is how to make them, is you can make them straight in from reinventor template right here, or you can go in and make them with the article maker right here. So you can put in an article, you test it here, and you can define it, and then we'll name it down at the very bottom down here. Okay. Once you do this a few times, you're going to be more comfortable just going straight into the reinventor and click add and create your own reinventor template. Okay. Now, again, you want to test these, and you can test them with URLs, and then let's go into RSS Masher, and you will click get reinventor template, and it opens it up over here. Okay. Update and go back to dashboard. Okay. Now, how do we do this? Okay. I'm going to go into Digital Nomad, and I'm going to click edit. Go to website feed. Nomadic mat feed I'm going to temporarily turn these off for testing. Okay. Now, I've got it in here. It's going to do a URL scrape, and I don't need to do a cleanup if I'm using scrape out. So let's just change this up just a little bit. Let's do Gemini, Fox News. That's a good one. Okay. So it's going to use Gemini. It's going to do a Fox News rewrite with a Fox News summary. I'm going to use 11 Labs with an American male voice. I'm going to use AIMasher's image maker with mid-century modern as my style. Now, I actually had to type this in to put it in. So I kind of know what but I know I didn't need a cleanup if I'm using URL scrape out. Okay. So I'm going to test this. And now we've got everything else turned off. Go over here to build and hit build.
The red box is really important.
Yep. Okay. So let's read this. Reinventor templates have been selected. These will only process when the mash is active. So I lost my laser pointer here. And I kind of like that laser pointer. That was pretty cool. Okay. I'll just put in here. Here's the spotlight. Oh, none of these tools work. So anyway. So when you click this, this is when it actually will start sending it over. But what we want to do is this an article? Yeah, in fact, it's not showing because remember those are old articles. They're in 2023 was Nomad. So what I'm going to do is just take this guy out. Okay. And let's test digital nomad and a dog. Over here, build. Okay. The 7 best tequila tours in Cozumel. Okay. There's a lot in here. So he's got a image in here about his disclaimer. He's got top 3 picks. He's got a lot of images. Tequila tours. Wow. He got some big images right there. I may not want to send this one over. And the reason I say this is he's got a lot of images and he's talking, his content is referencing the images, and I'm not going to get those images copied. So that's not one I want to send over. It's just, Wayne, any questions here?
When you set to temp off, when you return on, does it catch up with any schedules and posts? If the feed is off, then it won't pull from it. When it's turned back on, it won't go down, and because it could be off for a week, could be off for 2 days, 3 days. It'll only go and look at what the feed looks like at the time it's been switched back on.
Yep. Okay. Virtual Easter egg ideas. Virtual Easter egg hunt, happy hour, decorating class. And I don't really care about these images here, but this is something I can rewrite. Okay. So what I would do is come over here, and let's assume this is the one feed I want to rewrite. I can hit finish and activate. Okay. So it's active, and in the next probably 20 minutes, it's going to show up inside of the schedule in the collected data for digital nomad. Okay. So it does take time because we're actually rewriting it with your API keys. We're building images, we're building a voiceover. And it's also sequenced on however many other people are rewriting at the same time. So you give it time, give it, give it 30 minutes to maybe even longer before it will rewrite. But once you find it, once it's ready to go, then you're coming over here to schedule and digital nomad lifestyle, got it turned off. And we're going to do one a day. We've got everything set up. So I'm just going to make this active, hit update and finish. Okay. So I'm pretty confident in the next 30 minutes, it's going to have a completely rewritten article using the reinventor template. But you want to check this. What we typically do is we'll run it, like I said, we'll run it for 5 days just to see what good content we get out of it. And then you can also go back in and you can turn off your backlinking and syndication if you don't want to do that right now. But we pretty much go live with everything that we're working on the reinventor. Okay, so let's go in and build a completely brand new mash. The idea is, let's just call it bushcraft tips. Strip out hyperlinks, extract articles with images only. Now, because I know I'm sending it over to a website feed and I'm going to create my own images, I don't even need any of this. And we're going to do a URL scrape. So I can even pull in some thin feeds in here. So custom feed domain, skip all that. Featured image, I do want to make sure it's over 100. One feed at a time, group masters together, and I think I've got a bushcraft tips. Yep. Okay. Now I'm going to go into website feed with the intent here is I am going to rewrite the article, but it's also I'm going to use URL scraping, so I can have thin feeds in here. Let's type in bushcraft. Okay, I don't have any bushcraft. Survival tips. We'll use one of those. Okay, outdoor life, survival feed, survival Sullivan, geek prepper, off the prepping guide. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted modern survival online. I'm going to add that. I know that's a pretty decent one. Geek prepper. So we're going to test 3. I kind of like working with 3 to start with. Now, just a tip is the newer ones that we've added in here on these pre-made feeds are near the bottom. So preppers, prepper. Okay, we're going to test 3 feeds. What I'm trying to do is find some good feeds in here. Add them all in here. We're going to test, make sure the feeds are still good. Okay, 2 of them were good. So we got Geek Pepper and that Modern Survival. It's not formatted correctly anymore. Okay, that's no problem. Let's pull another one then. Get rid of all those. And let's go with cityprepping.com. That's interesting. Let's see if that one will work. Okay, city prepping didn't work. True prepper. Get rid of that one. Okay, so I've got 3 to test. And now I'm going to come back to hooks and show you the embarrassing thing that we did. We were trying to get citations in there. Okay, so we had just dropped down here and put a line going across from yesterday, and I think we did, what was the read more?
There's a citation one, which is quite good because it puts
citation. Insert token. Okay, that's what we had in there, and you can come down here and let's say that we had, I want to put one of those Amazon ones in here. Trucking, bushcraft. That's what I would normally look. I'm just going to go with Amazon right now. Okay. I'm doing this so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So we have everything in here. This is what we did yesterday. The problem was it had blank in there. And so we replaced money hooks. It didn't have a blank as a content tag. So Wayne's fixed this so it defaults to content. Yeah, and that's where you want it to default to, is content. Okay, hit update. Okay, now come over here to build. Build. So it should only build 3 for us at the most. How to stay warm without electricity, a handy guide. Okay, quick navigation. Here's his first image, clothing, activities, housing. Okay, move out. This is a good long article. Gas powered generators. Okay. And here's our citation right here. In fact, check out our best security cams on Amazon.
Yeah, I think the Amazon links have long expired, maybe.
Yeah, those are products on Amazon, so they're probably not listed anymore, so that's why they're expired. And what I should have in there is the actual like a sort order in there. So this is by Tobias, How to Stay Warm Without Electricity, geekprepper.com, how to stay warm, and then date. Okay. And he's got this in here. The post first appeared on Geek Pepper, and that's fine if you want to leave that in there. Things to consider before buying a generator. Different types of generators. Okay, inverter. Things to consider. It's a long article. Okay, so this is from Prepper Survive, buying a generator. Best emergency power stations. Best mid-size station. Okay. I probably wouldn't want to use this one. It has a lot of data facts in there that I don't want to change. I don't want to even check it. So this one is from Final Word. This is True Prepper. What I really want to write is opinion pieces, influencer post. So I would come back over here and go website, just turn this permanently off. And Prepper Survive. Let's just test this one. So I'm going to use a URL rewrite. Okay. Geek Pepper. I don't need a cleanup because I'm already doing a cleanup with Scrape Owl. But I'm going to come down here and use something like this Gemini, Flash, Fox, rewrite, Fox, no voiceover. Okay. Now I'll get this little red message over here. Build. Now, before I do that, let's go back into hooks. And let's take that one just completely out. And put this bushcraft tips. I don't know. Oh, that's through the ad display network. That one won't work. I could put in listicle. Let's do this helpful content. I want to show you what that looks like. So this is a token. We're going to add helpful content. I hit update. Now, it doesn't know where to pull the helpful content. So I've got to do one other thing. Come back to the tab and type in bushcraft skills. I'm going to add helpful content. And I'm going to use it as a money hook. Okay. I only want to pull one of the skill sets in there. Okay. Now, if I hit build, this is all before I do the rewrite. Okay, how to stay warm without electricity, a handy guide. Got all this good stuff in here. Okay, here's our citation. There's the conclusion. Frequently asked question, what are 3 basic types of survival shelters? What skills are necessary to survive the wilderness? Statistics, external links, how to. So I've just really, I've doubled the size of this article. Now, Wayne, answer me this, is if I'm sending this article over and I've got,
I know this question, I was getting ready for this question.
will it rewrite my helpful content?
No.
Okay. So it's only rewriting the content itself that we're sending.
Yeah, we don't. It's really clever. What it does is you get everything ready in the mash how you want it to look, but we only send the content or the URL to AIMasher to rewrite it. When it rewrites it and it's done all the clever things, it will send it back and it'll inject it back. And then it will then go through the mash as though that was the original article in the first place. And it will start adding all the other things in the mash to the bottom of the rewritten version.
There's all this stuff back in there.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
What it does really is it waits for it to come back rewritten, and then it finishes the mash off by adding all the other tabs to the back end of it.
Yep. So then I would go to build. I've already looked at everything, looked good. So when I'm ready to start rewriting it, I'll hit finish and activate.
Yep.
Okay. So bushcraft tips, it's ready to go. And that was a brand new one. So I'm just going to rename it actually. And once you have a bunch of these mashes in there, you really want to have a naming nomenclature that you're using. Rewrite, hit update and finish. Just change that active status again. Okay. So when our system picks it up, it's going to send it to AIMasher. It's going to rewrite it, and it's going to add the citation back to it, and it's going to add that helpful content. Now, question to you. Do you need a citation on an article that you're completely rewriting?
No.
I want to see what everybody says here. No is probably the correct answer. Yes. So I would say no. But it is really up to you. This is how flexible this machine is, and why some people say it's a little complicated, and that's okay. We want to give you the ability to say that this concept was given to me by the survival niche or whatever. So you can build a backlink to them, okay? There's one guy on the call that had a really interesting deal. Is he had his own feed coming into an RSS Masher, sending it to be rewritten, pulling a URL content with it, and then putting it into another website with a citation link back to the original site. And I thought through that, and I'm like, why is he doing that? It's absolutely brilliant.
It's quite smart, yeah.
You're building your own backlink with a guest post on somebody else's site that you know, and well, it's not somebody else's site. It's somebody that had 100+ websites, WordPress sites, but he made the original content. He rewrote it, put it in, but he put a link back to the original source content. And it's, I mean, you could build a PBN just with that concept idea. Okay. So we've kind of gone over the reinventor a lot, but in the same context, I'm going to come back in here and go, let's go back in and edit it. Look at our website feed. Okay. I'm going to turn this one temporarily off. And I'm going to turn this one to 1. Okay. What I want to do is I just want to build it. And I'm not going to send it yet. So what I'm looking for is the RSS feed post. Okay. Things to consider before buying a generator, different types, solar, fuel, inverter. Okay. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a good article. It's got a lot of images in there. And here's our frequently asked questions. This is our helpful content and external links. And again, this is another way to put in, if you're building helpful content, put in one of your external links to your own products. And you get, if you're using this helpful content, you get a backlink as well. Okay. How to best installation for a bushcraft shelter. Cool. I like some of our content really well. Okay. So I want to use this, but let's look at one thing real quick. Is if I go straight into the article. So I'm trying to decide, do I use content or do I use URL scraper? If I do URL scraper, it's got an ad it's got to try to get rid of. Different types. So this might be something that you kind of test. It's got one ad up at the top it needs to get rid of. So I'm going to come in here. Let's go. But the RSS feed post didn't have the ad in there. So come back in here to website. So I'm going to send the content from the website. Okay. I'm not going to do a URL script. I'm going to send the RSS feed post. Now I'm going to come in here and go, okay, I've got to find one that says cleanup on it. Cleanup on all 5. There we go. So if I'm using this is Anthropic. I'm trying to find a cleanup with no audio. There we go. Here's Gemini. We're doing a cleanup. We're doing Guardian USA, no audio, but we're doing the summary in there. Okay. So you can see you can use different reinventor templates on the same website feed list and do different things with it. So again, I would come over here to build. I can hit build and it's just going to repeat what we just saw. And preview web. Okay, so same as what we just saw. Now I'm going to hit finish and activate. Now the idea here, the strategy behind this is if I have 3 feeds in there and one of them, let's say my URL scrape owl is not working, I still get content from the content if I had chosen content in there. So it's one of those deals that if you vary it a little bit, it will keep that mash active. So that's why I like using 3 in there, and I vary how I do the rewrite. Okay, am I scraping the original article or am I just pushing content? If I push content, then I need a cleanup reinventor template. Now I know half of you on the call probably, this is a lot of information that we're going over today. And until you actually do it and you see them live in action, it may not make a lot of sense to you. So you may have to watch this video again, look at my cheat sheets and everything else. Don't feel bad, okay? This is all new information to learn, but the cool thing is you already have the tools. If you've got AIMasher and RSS Masher, you've got the tools to do this. You've just got to put a little bit of time on the learning curve to get this one mash built. And if you build that one mash, you know how to schedule, you know how to syndicate, and you're publishing, okay? And you're building backlinks at the same time. So that's, in putting a little tip in there is just do a rewrite on it, okay? Now, let's talk about, we're going to move on down. I'm at 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we are going to do something different. We are going to do add And let's do survival since we're kind of in that genre. And I'm going to put AIM. Okay. Now, I am going to be pushing articles with my RSS Masher campaign into here, into a mash that I can schedule with everything going out. So all I need to do is just give it a, let's put it back in bushcraft. Tips, hit update. Okay.
Yeah, good question from Jill at this moment. So a mash can have feeds and also individual articles added to it. It can indeed.
Yes, very good question. One of the people on the call, I know we've talked about it. This is the advantage of having all these mashes already built. If you want to add in this tab here with RSS Masher campaign, very simple. So I could have 3 or 4 website feeds sitting down here. I can even have a YouTube feed if I wanted, but if I had a website feed, and then I can just add AIMasher in there. But this one, all it is survival, and we're just going to pull from AIMasher. Okay. So select from AIMasher campaigns. I don't think I have a survival in here. Nope. Bushcraft. I don't even have a bushcraft. Okay. So I need to go out and create a campaign. So we're going to go over here to Article Publisher. This is where you create your RSS Masher campaigns. Y'all have always seen this. This is the bridge. We're going to build a bridge over to RSS Masher. Click Add. And I'm going to call it Survival Skills. Okay. And update. Now, it says no, so I need to link it. So let's go back over here. Make that. And go into integrations, AIMasher, and it's newsroom was the last one, so I'm going to get campaign, and we just added it. Okay, so now I hit refresh screen. It's going to change it to yes. Okay, now right now it's off. The bridge is built, but it's closed. So now I just opened it up. So the bridge is open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, and we're going to use that Chrome extension. Instead of finding articles, I may have some articles in here. Let's see. Let's see if I got survival. Water. This one's already been posted. Let's try bush. There. I may have a group called Bushcraft. Okay. So let's find Bushcraft skills. Here is a 15. Here's 15 beginner bushcraft camping skills. Okay. This looks like a really good article. So I'm going to send it to Chrome extension. And now I'm using an article template instead of a reinventer template. So I'm going to rewrite using 4.0 Mini Fox News. And I've got a whole bunch of them in here. I'm going to pull the images. I'm not going to do an audio. And I'm going to do a call to action with AIMasher. So I'm doing, and we're going to go and look at the article template in a second. Send article to AIMasher. Okay, let's find a couple more. So I'm going to go back. Bushcraft skills, outdoor life. Here's a beginner's guide to bushcraft. This is going to be a good article. Designing bushcraft, basic skills. Okay. Let's send it. I'm going to use that. We can use that same one. Send article to AIMasher. Okay, so there's 2 of them. And let's pull a third. Just page 2. And what is bushcraft? A guide to outdoor skills. Okay. Except all. Okay. That looks good. More here. It's an article to AIMasher. Okay. So I've got 3 articles. They're all heading to AIMasher. Hit refresh. And there they are right there. Now they're going through a template rewrite. So it's letting me know everything that's going on. It's rewriting the template. Remember, we did this one earlier, Mastering the Art of Minimalist Travel. If I go into that, it's kind of interesting. This is the AI that we built with the AIMasher graphic credits. This is a nice little article. Now I can come down here and I can add helpful content, listicles, whatever I wanted. Put that back in here to my articles. Okay. So these are all getting, I think, rewrites, audio. So it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do all this. But while it's doing that, we had reinventor templates. Now let's talk about article templates. They are going to look very similar to your reinventor templates, but they're going to have a little bit more stuff in there that it can do. The reason is the intent was, if you rewrite with our article templates, you should be able to publish directly from AIMasher with it. Okay. So that's what I want to look at. I want to go in and let's just go ahead and add one brand new one. Okay. Looks very similar. OpenAI, rewrite prompt. We have Bullet Point Billy, Andy, the local news. Let's do Guardian USA. 01 Mini. Switch it over to Anthropic. Sonnet latest. Summary prompt. Let's do a Guardian. Under word Guardian. Okay. 11 Labs. Very similar to what we've seen before. And let's do a male narrator. Continue without audio. Absolutely. And include images. Now, this gives you a little bit more control. Images, ad type. Using AI, or do you want to pull them from a media pack? So you may have a media pack for this one article template to do your bushcraft website. So you could create, or you can bring it from the Chrome extension. So I'm going to pull from the Chrome extension to set this up. So I'm making one specifically to use for the Chrome extension, where it's going to pull all the images. Place extra images from Chrome extension every 7 paragraphs. Place extra images from media pack, none. Okay. You want to add a listicle, helpful content. These are ones that are made inside of AIMasher. You want to add a call to action. So this is part of when you have the agency package of AIMasher, you get all this stuff right down here that you can add. You can build them and add them real quickly, again, with anchor text. So we have, it is using Anthropic, and we need to put in here 3.5 Sonnet latest. Okay. Guardian, Summary Garden. We have a voiceover. Okay. And I'm doing Chrome extension.
Yes, Scott asks about, so the Chrome extension only uses the templates that I create. And that's correct.
Yes, but you can create them real easily. Like you just saw, I just created one. And if you like it, clone it. You can use different, different AI models. You can, choose how you're doing your images. We've got some people that are doing Chrome extensions just for 1 or 2 websites, but they have like a news site. So they have a sports Chrome extension article template. They have one about local news or weather. They have one that is a celebrity. So you can, this is up to you, however you want to do it. I don't think we have a limit on how many of these you can have. The biggest deal is, can you keep track of them? Okay. So that was a new one that we just added. I'll come back over here to article publisher, see how we're at. Articles, template complete. Let's see what we look at here. Oh, this looks good. It pulled all the images across.
That's neat.
That's amazing. So mastering the wilderness, 15 essential bushcraft tips. I mean, this is a nice article here. Okay. Now, these articles, if I go template complete, I can tag these 3 and I'm going to add them to, didn't we just create, oh, we called it survival tips, didn't we? Survival skills. Okay, add to campaign. So we put this in an RSS Masher campaign to send across. So we open the bridge and these little guys, they're running over to RSS Masher. Okay. And they're in this one survival skills. Let's call it survival skills from AIMasher. And here it is, update. I've got it in bushcrafttips.com folder. And now I'm going to come over here to AIMasher. And I've got to choose that campaign to complete the bridge. And it's down here at the very bottom. Okay. Number of articles, I'm going to leave it at 10. You can change this. We want to accept as many articles as it wants to send over. So 5 or 10 in here. I'm not going to spin it, and I'm not going to use it as a money hook at the bottom of some other article in website feed. This is a standalone. Anything that I rewrite and tag with RSS Masher survival skills is going to be passed into this mash and then built. Okay. Now it will say no data found because it hasn't pushed everything over. It does this on a, whatever your schedule is. So ours is agency, so it's every 30 minutes it will push it over. But I'm going to hit finish and activate. Okay. Survival skills is ready to go. It's active. And whenever it gets the articles finished and rewritten and our timer comes up, it said, okay, now it's time to push them over. On RSS Masher campaigns, Wayne, it will push it on agency every 30 minutes. Is that correct?
Now, if you're looking at AIMasher, it's a push. So if you go to AIMasher and see if they've been sent. Not yet. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Sent. So they've now been sent, and they're sitting in RSS Masher waiting. So if you re-edit that one and do a build,
they should be in there.
yeah.
Not yet. I know it takes a little time. I'm going to go ahead and hit finish and activate. But this one is ready to go. They'll show up in probably another minute or 5 minutes. I'd go to survival schedule, manage schedules, and change that, put that back active, click add, survival skills. And we'll put in here AIM, so I know they're coming from that one group, and they were in bushcraft tips, I believe, survival skills. Okay, 1 post per day, and copy that template. I'm going to put it back into bushcraft tips. Now I've got it all organized. And now I'm ready to come down here and go, we want to go in, I think it is a WordPress site. I think. Nope. It is a Masher site. Yep. Okay. And bushcraft projects, camp, survival skills. Author. I'm just going to do random author. First image is featured. Yep. Upload all images and create tags with AI. Absolutely. Let's give it 4 tags. No spinning, Omega indexer, silo category, banner bearer. We'll do a smart crop. And we've got it assigned and it's ready whenever the articles get passed. I'm going to go into add and now we're going to syndicate it. So I'm going to do a Masher site, but I'm going to do my quick view news. This is kind of my own little link pin site. Business, cooking, hobbies. Yeah, I'll go with hobbies. Now, remember yesterday we did WordPress posts. We need to do Masher site posts because we have a Masher site link up there. No spinning, use AI indexer. Yeah, there we go. And banner bear, I don't need to do this because I've already cropped it. And I need to put AI indexer in there. I think survivalist. Yeah, I knew I had one in there. Gun rights, camping, survivalist. I want to go Masher site post link, hit update. And let's push it to booster page at the same time. Booster pages. We'll go down to survivalist. Survivalist. Masher site. And let's hit it with Omega indexer. I'm not gonna do my AI indexer to a booster page, but you can. Okay. So I would maybe add Blogger in here and a couple other links in here, all pushing back to this Masher site. When I'm ready, I'm just going to do active, update, and finish. Okay. So I'll test this over the next 5 days. I'm going to look at these articles coming in from AIMasher, make sure they all look good, and I can adjust if I need to. But that's how easy it is to. We did a Chrome extension, rewrote them with an article template, and then we sent them to an RSS Masher campaign that's going to put them into this one mash right here. Okay, questions? This is a lot to cover right here, and your head is probably hurting by now. Again, I encourage you, watch this again if you need to. We had that Geek Out Friday session in there that talks about RSS Masher. But what we did, we just connected the bridge between AIMasher and RSS Masher by putting this into a campaign. This is all you need to do to send it to AIMasher. And it will say sent to AIMasher or RSS Masher. I'm sorry. Okay. Whew. Wayne, any questions? I know we talked about helpful content and listicle.
Scott said the best way to learn is to do the Chrome extension to AIMasher RSS Masher syndication. Just start with whatever you think you've grasped, and then eventually you'll think, God, it is easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm using the Chrome extension just solely for the purpose of showing you how easy it is to do. I'm going to take one step further. I know we're pushing time limits here. If I go into topical authority, I'm going to show, I know that's Zimwriter. I don't want that. Title.
Wasn't day 2 how to make helpful content?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll focus on that. Okay. So inside of inside of here, under blog amplifiers, I'm going to show you the AIMasher method and why it's so easy. Helpful content. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click add. And I'm going to come up here and go, this is about survival skills. Okay. And I'm just going to use that as my keyword. And how many helpful content tips? Let's do 5. And how am I going to write it? Helpful content, multi-use. Yep. 01 mini. Let's see if all this works. Make helpful content active and hit update. Okay. So it's going to rewrite, it's going to create helpful content. It's going to take tips, statistics, links, and one short article, and it's going to do all that automatically for you. And it will take, so it's already creating frequently asked questions with all this. So we're going to let it do its thing. I'm going to hit finish. But I'm going to show you one that's that we've already done. So here's book writing tips. This is helpful content. Come down here. I'm going to do preview all. Okay. So we have external links. We have how-tos, how to streamline research, how to maintain consistency. This looks good. I think I told it no statistics on there. Let's look at to finish. Let's look at another one. Wearable tech innovations. So come down here, preview all. And this has frequently asked question, what is wearable tech? How does it benefit health monitoring? So this is something you could put on the bottom of any of your articles. And we have statistics in here, which I love this. This is what people that are readers, you will get people scrolling to the end of your page and staying there a little bit because they're looking at the stats. Now, we don't use every single stat in here. We have a rotation that will pull 3 to 5 of these statistics, and it's all on a random basis. Here's external links. Again, we only pull 3 to 5 on there. Here's how to. We only pull 3 to 5 to actually build it. So we build a full helpful content out for you, but we don't use every single thing. So each article is going to get a random selection of how-tos, a random selection of links, and checklists.
I think we pull one how-to.
We pull one how-to in there.
Yeah, and then variable the others.
Yeah. So we do this. I mean, it is automated. You cannot make this any easier. In fact, survival skills is done. So let's look at it. Got subheading, questions, preview all. There's our questions. There's our statistics. It didn't pull very many. External links. Here's the how-tos. And they're not very long articles, but they're interesting articles for somebody interested in survival skills.
I think you only said 5 anyway, didn't you?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. So that's how you build them, how you build helpful content. Let's go over to Blog Amplifier. Let's build a listicle. And let's go down here and I'm going to say add. And I'm going through this kind of quickly because it is that easy to do. Let's do
the number is the potential max number of each section it will make. If you want a really big one and you want to put 10 in or 20, you can, and it will just take a bit longer, but you'll have a lot more.
Okay, I'm going to do how-to with steps. So I'm going to do how to set up a bushcraft camp. Let's do I'm going to put 5 in there. You could put 10 or 20 in there if you wanted. I'm going to make it a listicle, multiple use, or you can have Amazon in here, a product search. You can add, it's through integrations, and you would add an AAWP API app. But I'm going to do listicle multi-use, And let's do O1 Mini, confident, informative. Product information used in conjunction with the Amazon product search. We're just going to do a list, okay? Make a listicle after and hit update. Okay, I hit finish. So let's take a look at some of the lists. Steps to publish a book on KDP. Okay, I'm going to come down here and go preview all. Steps to publish. This is good information to put on the bottom of an article about writing books. Prepare your manuscript, design an eye-catching book cover, setting up your account, uploading and formatting. This is great. And we have a different set in here. So this is set up to do a random rotation in here. So it would either pull from this section or from this section. It's set up for multi-use.
Yeah, that's the difference in the drop-down. If it says multi-use, you'll get lots of records so that we can randomly pick each section can have different frequently asked questions in. If you don't select multi-use, it will write it all as one big block of HTML.
Okay, this one, I'm going to preview all. 22 smart home technologies that optimize energy efficiency. Now, we have 22 in here, but whenever we post it, we'll pull, let's say 10, and we're going to change that number to 10. So that's what the listicle will actually read is 10. And it will give you 10 of these, and we'll renumber them and all that. So this is, it's a neat thing to add to articles to give it a little bit more credibility. Let's see, I was trying to find one. So I've got one for Amazon in here. Let's see. Mobile gaming accessories. Yeah, this is an Amazon one here. So I got product information in here. Let's come down here and go preview all. Okay. Must have mobile gaming accessories for the avid gamer. So we got fans, we got, I don't know what those are, mobile claw socks. It's interesting. So all these are Amazon products in here. And we would randomly come in and pick 2 or 3 of these and put them in a listicle that would go at the bottom of your article. Interesting. Okay. So I've got finish. So whenever my VA runs out of work, I have him come over here and build listicles for me. So I've got 62 different listicles. He pulls them up based on the topic of our websites. And so that is listicles and call to actions. So if you want to add a call to action to the bottom of your article inside of your article template, you can put a call to action in there. Let's look at a few of them. Book Masher writing call to action. Down here, preview all. These are when we randomly will pull one of them. So this would be at the bottom of your article. Start your author journey today with that content. Transfer your writing skills. So we would pull randomly one of these, but we have a lot of them to put in there. So all your articles will have a different call to action at the bottom if you want to do that. Okay. Now, good question is, somebody asked, if I use the article template, I can still use listicle, helpful content, and CTA in the article template, not in the reinventor template. And so you could pull a Chrome extension, or you could write them, or you can import them from ZimWriter. We have some people importing from ZimWriter, and they'll add a listicle and a CTA at the bottom of every article they import. I mean, it's brilliant. This is why we believe that you want to really put an eyeball on a post, but you also want to do other things. You want to do a voiceover. You want images, that look good. You want to put listicles and CTAs in there. And this is one of the reasons we built this particular template, okay? And why it's different from Reinventor. Reinventor is rewrite RSS feeds. AIMasher article is for the Chrome extension and for any of these articles that you import. Okay. So I showed you, these are real easy to build. Blog amplifier. Back here to listicle. We just built one. Oh, we just built one. No, I don't think we. Yeah, we did. How to set up a bushcraft camp. This was the listicle. Look at it. Down here to preview all. I only did 5, so there's only 5 steps in here. Ideal location, tools, build a robust shelter, a fire source, and sustainable water supply. So ideally, when I'm doing this for myself, I'm going to put in 20. So I would have 20 different steps in here, or 10 different steps, so that when we do build a list, it has random variations in there. Okay.
You'll notice it's got a token, listicle number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like when if you're in my articles and you put it to the bottom, it might only pick 4 of them. So it will change that to 4 for you. And if it brings 5 over, it will change it to 5. So that it's like 5 steps to setting up your bushcraft camp.
Yep.
So it's quite smart.
Yeah. We haven't really, and again, AIMasher is like RSS Masher. We have a lot of really cool stuff going on that if we did a video every single day, nobody would watch all the videos because it's just way too many. That's why we're doing this mastermind, is try to show you all the cool stuff, and I know it's long shows, but Wayne has done a really good job of thinking through what do we need to really ramp up a article or amp up an article besides just, oh, it's AI written and it's AI written by some of the best AI writers. Well, that's great. But your visitor coming to your website, he's looking for questions about bushcraft skills or digital nomad. If you could add other things down below the article that he would find interesting or she would find interesting, is they will stay more time on your site, but they'll also recommend your site, or they'll share that link post and say, hey, did you know there's 85% of the people doing bushcraft end up cutting themselves with their bushcraft knife, or, just they're weird statistics that come in there. Okay. So think in terms of your AIMasher. Now, I'm going to come back to RSS Masher. I told you we're going to talk about helpful content, listicles. We have a builder. Everybody gets a builder. If you have the API membership, you get the importer as well. Okay. So I'm going to, it's been a long time since I've imported. Description, it's going to come from AIMasher. AIMasher helpful content. What's the one we just built? Was it survival skills? Yeah. Okay. Add from AIMasher. We just transferred the entire thing we just did on helpful content into here. And what was the one we did with how to set up a bushcraft? So if I come down here to listicle, importer, pull it from AIMasher, and it was how to set up a bushcraft camp. Okay. We just pulled that entire listicle over. Now we use the same algorithm to put a listicle or helpful content at the bottom of your RSS Mashers, but I'll show you how on this. And this is a rewrite. Let me do this. I'm going to clone this one and turn off the rewrite on it, because I want to show you the listicle helpful content stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go in and edit this. It is not going to be a rewrite. I'm going to take all that out. Hit update. Okay. Rewrite. I'm going to go in and put geek. I think we had one. Let's go one here. And then True Pepper, we had that one turned off. Okay. So I turned off everything. And now I'm going to go into listicles. And this is best bushcraft.
I think when we clone and mash, that's a rewriter, we don't put the templates in, which is why they were blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come I'm not seeing the most current, the how-tos in here on the listicle?
There's helpful contents next to it.
Oh, because now I've got one helpful content in here. This is bushcraft skills, but we wanted to bring in that new one that we had. So I'm going to delete that. This is the one that was from AIMasher. So I should see survival skills. Or do I have to log out and log back in to get them?
No, you shouldn't have to. Oh, I know what it is. Go into helpful content and find it in the builder.
Oh, got to turn it on, don't you?
Yeah.
Got to make it active. Survival skills. There we go. I'll turn these other ones on that forgot to turn on.
Because you've got some spinning going on.
Oh, spinning.
Because we can, once they come in, we can actually spin them up as well. So it makes an infinite random amount of possibilities. You don't have to spin them because there's already like lots of opportunities, but you can actually spin the text as well so that they're constantly generating unique versions.
Okay. So, oh, we're going to listicle builder, page 2. Turn that on. Turn these other ones I forgot to turn on. Okay, now they'll show up, right?
Yep.
Okay. So bushcraft tips, we're not going to rewrite them. We're just going to have an RSS feed. So all that's gone. I've got 2. We'll come over here and we've got helpful content in there. So let's make sure we have, what was that? Survival skills. Yeah, that's the one from AIMasher. And we want how many, we want to use it as a money hook. We only want one article out of it. Go to listicles. And what was that? That was a how-to set up a bushcraft camp and listicle. Okay, number of articles, I'm just going to pull one. Random from, let's go 2 to maybe 4. Use as a money hook, list item sequence. You can number them or sometimes number them. So this is just a random variation that you can get in there. Okay, so I've got listicles and helpful content and come back over here to money hooks and we got helpful content. Let's put a separator in there so we know what's going on. And put in here. Okay. Now we're going to put the listicle in there. Okay. Update. So we should see the citation, the helpful content, and the listicle. That's our goal. Build. We use that button a lot. Build. Preview web. Okay. How to stay warm without electricity. Here's a handy guide. There's our images. We've seen this one quite a few times. Now we got down to the very bottom. We have our citation link. We have frequently asked questions, which is helpful content. So we had a few statistics. We've got a couple of questions, a couple of links, and one how-to article. And here's our 2 steps to setting up your bushcraft camp. I should have made this longer. Secure a sustainable water supply, select the ideal location. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Just go back and edit it and run it again. That's what the build's for.
Yeah. So come on.
Notice we use the same token so that if it comes across to RSS Masher, it knows where to change the number.
Okay.
So what he's saying there is that you want at least 4, but you may want 5.
On helpful content, there's no real setting on that. So I'm going to hit build again.
We've got a fixed algorithm in helpful content. Just does it for you.
Okay. So there's the article. Come down here, and on the fly, we're adding it. It is frequently asked questions, statistics, external links, how-tos, and 4 steps to setting up your bushcraft. Remember, we did 4 to 5. So this listicle pulled 4 things to consider on your power generator. Okay. Conclusion. Then we have a citation. Then we have frequently asked questions, statistics, external links, how-tos. I think that's an actual different how-to. And then it randomly selected 4 again. So reliable fire supply, robust shelter.
But is it a different 4?
Yeah. It's a different order also.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you add them. I'm going to show you the old way. This is why you may want to. Okay. If I go in here to add, I'm going to give it a title, and let's call it fishing tips. This is helpful content. Okay. Now I can, if I had spinners connected, I could spin the title. I'll make it hit update and questions. So I've got to put in the content here.
Effectively, it's a little wizard, but you have got to put all the content in manually.
Yeah. So where to find fish in a lake. Now I'm not going to spin it, but I'm going to hit update. Okay. And how do I get the, oh, I know the answers. So I have to build each individual question.
The answers are like if you highlight one there, and then you can click add answer and add links.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. We'll say in the middle of the lake. Yes, they're never on the, they're never near the shore where I'm fishing. In the middle of the lake. Okay.
On the end of someone else's rod.
Yeah, and somebody else's boat is where I usually see them. So we have a question and we have an answer with it. So you have to go through each of these. You got a question, a statistic, external links, how-tos. I haven't used this in about, well, since we had added the importer in there, I haven't used it. My VA would build these in phrase. So he would use phrase and then he would copy questions and answers. He could do 2 of these a day. So where I'm going with all this is if you want to build these by hand, you can certainly do that. But it's going to take a long time. Almost all of these are imported from AIMasher. Okay. Same with listicle, same exact build method. Fishing tips. And this is why I'm not really going to go deep into this because I don't think y'all are going to use this. Is it active? Hit update.
No, this was pre AIMasher.
Yeah, this is pre-AIMasher. So if you have AIMasher and you have the API club, and we may do something different than the API club very soon, but if you got the two of them together, the importer you're going to use the importer 100% of the time is what I'm telling you. Now, we don't have a CTA in here because all the CTAs, the call to actions, are your money hooks. So if I go in here, I can put any money hook that I want in here at the very bottom. Let's say I want to take all that out and put a CTA. That's what all this is. They're all call to actions. Here's Amazon, security cameras. We don't use Article Forge anymore. But you can even put, like I told you earlier, if you have an RSS Masher campaign and you want to add that RSS Masher campaign to the bottom, so you really have two articles in one, this is how you would do it. You would just click right there and it would put that, the ones that you sent over with. It's kind of interesting. I don't know many people using that.
I think it's if we were sending short articles across that complement something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And I prefer to use a helpful content in here. Yeah. I have a lot of my stuff that is, you could take an RSS feed. Here's an idea too. You could take an RSS feed, add helpful content to it. You could take your listicle, put a listicle in there. And this is a math question for everybody. Okay, so I got helpful content, listicle, and I come over here and go, this is at the top of the article. This article was curated. I'm just going to by Damon Nelson. It is all about bushcraft skills. Now, ideally, you would have a spun version of that curation in there, but what if we just did that and I hit update and I come over here and based on word count, I hit build. I've got two articles that we're looking at. Preview web. So this article was curated. Now you could have a full paragraph in there. You can create tokens of curation in here. So if Google is looking at duplicate content as they're comparing it word for word, is it the same article? You can create a uniqueness with an RSS feed by putting a curation paragraph up at the top. So one of the checks they look for duplicate content is that first paragraph the same as the original source. Okay, so you throw it off. You put in your own first paragraph. Then they count the words. They look at the content and does it match exactly to the original source? Well, if you add in here another 500 to 1,000 words, no, it's a longer article. It has 30% difference or 40% difference from the original article, especially if the original article is only 500 words. So you can, this is the black hat or gray hat way of getting around a duplicate content question, is make it a curated article and add your helpful content and listicles. One guy was doing this brilliantly, and I'll show you what he was doing. Come back to MASH. He would take the articles and he would come down here and goes, okay, I'm going to put a lot of stuff in there on these articles, but I'm going to use the title as the link bait and the first image. So he went in and did, what was it? It was custom feed. Here we go. Strip HTML, keep images. restrict character length. He said, give me just the first 1,000 characters. Okay, hit update. Now he went over here and he had in here his hooks. He had a spun paragraph up here that he actually created a token with different curation article paragraphs in here. So he used AI to create different paragraphs, and he put them in a spinner inside of the tokens up here. Okay, my tokens. So he had a curated paragraph token that he would pull out and put right there. And then he wouldn't even use a citation. He put helpful content listicle, and then he added an AIMasher article on it. So it was 1,000 characters from this other site, and he completely rewrote the article basically when he did that. He hit build. And preview web. This article was curated. Okay, I needed to put, but it also stripped out all the hyperlinks in here. And it took out the first images too. So it's an idea. It's not necessarily something that, you have to do. I'm giving you an option that says, RSS feeds, you can do something with the RSS feeds besides rewrite them completely, is use them as their valuable content to the reader. SEO, they may look at an RSS feed and go, well, that's duplicate content. Well, if you want to get around that, add your own curation article or your own curation paragraph above everything and put in helpful content listicles down below everything. Okay, so just an idea. This is a big machine. It is a complicated machine to learn. The best way to learn it is start right here, create a mash, create a website feed, and test them. Okay. Yeah. And if all you want to do is say, well, Damon, I just want to send articles from AIMasher through RSS Masher and use that powerful scheduler, absolutely do it. Just create a bunch of mashes and only use that tab right there. Now you can put hooks on it at the same time, and it would go to the bottom of your AIMasher article. You could do helpful content listicles or whatever, or you can actually create them inside of AIMasher before you send them over. Okay. Yes, it's 2.5 hours. I think I covered everything, but let's just take a look real quick. I'm going to go over the whiteboard and make sure we covered everything. Oops. Share. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. I think I should get yeah. We're going to look at the whiteboard one last time and make sure we got everything. Wayne, can you see the whiteboard?
Yep.
Okay. I'll pull it up here. Okay, cool. So we went over AIMasher integration with they're not called rewriting, they're called reinventor templates and best practices. RSS campaigns, we talked about that. RSS campaigns are basically just a bridge from AIMasher to RSS Masher, but it allows you to create a mash that is just sitting there waiting for your AI content to be pushed over. Okay, you can add money hooks at the bottom of these ads. We talked about the Chrome extension, and I showed you exactly how to use a Chrome extension with the article template to create a really good article rewrite from an article you find on Google. Okay. Then we talked about helpful content. I showed you the easy button was create them all inside of AIMasher under the blog amplifier. And then the only thing I didn't get to is image replacement. I'm going to get to this tomorrow. I'm at a point where we've covered a lot. I don't want to overwhelm everybody. I know we got a lot going on in here, but media packs and image, we'll just cover it tomorrow. Okay. So any questions that I can answer today, and we'll get it in on the recording.
Paul says, shouldn't word domination be mentioned on the sales page?
Yep, I guess you could. And keep that idea in mind is when you're doing an RSS feed, at least put a helpful content at the bottom of every feed article that you do. And if you don't have AIMasher, it's not a requirement, but it is a really nice feature to have to go with your RSS Masher. Anything else, Wayne?
No, I don't think there is. I think everyone's
okay.
Cool. Stay on the call, okay?
Yep. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about and this is one of the newer things that we're going to be talking about is local pages. We built this about a year ago, and some of you are familiar with it, and some of you have never even figured out what we need it for or what you might use it for. So we're going to talk a lot about local pages. And we added this about 3 months. The sitemap maker is to be able to pull old articles into RSS Masher and rewrite them, do something with them from your sitemap. I mean, this is brilliant right here. Feedly G Sheet method. I'm going to show you my secret Feedly G Sheet method. It's pretty easy once it's all set up. To once a week or once every few weeks is to go in and just look at Feedly and send articles over just by tagging them. YouTube mashes. We're going to talk a little bit about YouTube. YouTube it's good to put in a playlist or a YouTube search. I don't think we do use it for our Masher site video sites, but in today's age is what I'd like to see is a full content article with a YouTube in it, not just a YouTube alone. And I'm going to show you some tricks that you can do with that. Okay. And if we've got time, we're going to do automation workflow charts. This is just more of a strategy guide right here. But what I want you to be able to do is go, I want to do a certain thing. I want to know how to do it with a little visual representation. So if I've got time, I'm going to make a few of these little workflow charts that if you say, I want to find an article, click Chrome extension, and then send it to RSS Masher. I want to make a little workflow chart for you. So anyway, this is, we got to have time to do it. And it may be something that I add not in day 3, but I'll add it next week when I have a little bit of time to think through the workflow charts and then put them in that Notion doc for you. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Wayne, before we head out today?
No, I think we're done.
Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying on. And I know it was a long call, but this is a mastermind training, and that's what I wanted to give you. I wanted to just do a brain dump to give you everything that we use these tools for, and to kind of maybe open up the idea that I haven't been using RSS Masher. I didn't really know what I could do with it. Well, now you do. Okay. So we'll talk to you tomorrow at noon Eastern time, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.